When will we go back to America first? Certainly not with the morons that are running this country today. What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Bottom Line for Sunday, January 29th, as the year is already flying by. And we have a market that continues to go higher, which is beyond belief, but we'll get to that in our market report. But in the meantime, certainly we are not under the America First guidance as it is now. Okay? And I'm sure all of you Biden supporters are thrilled at the job that he's doing, but of course his approval ratings have fallen to record lows, okay? Because fear mongering doesn't work, okay? Because bullshit and lies don't work. And basically, you have a president that has classified documents in his garage with his son, who is already under scrutiny and under trouble. But of course, we're not hearing any near the outrage that we heard about President Trump, which is, again, shows you where this country is headed, and that is to the shithouse. Okay? Again, those of you who will write to me and tell me that this is the greatest country in the world, yes, it is. But the distance apart is getting much closer, and that should scare the crap out of you with what is going on in this country, because the lies that were being told from that there is not much inflation, bullshit, okay, that the average loaf of bread in this country is $1.77, bullshit. Look, this is all lies and rhetoric that is meant to keep you voting for the morons that are stealing your paycheck. Okay? You can say what you want, and I don't care whether you're a Democrat or Republican. The entire political system is broken down, and that is why the Republicans, as well as the Democrats, want to Trump out, because they can go back to taking our money. Because as we know, government produces nothing but debt, okay, and heartache, along with the Federal Reserve that is sitting on $8 trillion in cash. Okay, the Federal Reserve, let me repeat that, is sitting on $8 trillion. Okay, so 25% of our debt is in the Federal Reserve in cash. Okay, so Biden continues to go down. The violence in this country and worldwide continues to go up. We just had an attack in Israel. Okay, not to mention the attacks we have from state to state right here in the good old United States of America. Okay, this should not be happening as the party in power continues to try to strip us of our Second Amendment rights, of the right to bear arms. Okay, it is becoming an epidemic, worse than the bullshit pandemic that we just went through. Okay, now COVID was whatever you want, but of course the numbers are lies, most of them. Okay, it was meant to create fear. It was meant to benefit the uber wealthy, the Bill Gates, and those people. Okay, Google. It was meant to be to just give more destruction to the middle class. And of course, as we look around and we talk about jobs, we have lost over 2 million full-time jobs since last May. And not only have you had many companies laying off, Amazon, Microsoft, you now have Dow, 3M, and Spotify joining the layoff brigade. Okay? So now when they come out with the jobs number next Friday, okay, or this Friday coming, whatever is the correct verbiage, okay, what are we going to hear? Well, whatever we're going to hear, it's going to be garbage, okay? Because what they're not telling you is that the jobs are part-time jobs, which then take away the benefits of full-time employment. And many people are working 2 and 3 jobs to make partially near what they made before. We know that the inflation is a disaster. Okay, and the 6.5 GDP print is as garbage as possible. And of course, the administration or the government telling us that average loaf of bread is $1.77, which is nowhere near, and what you are seeing in many cases in this country. is that they are now making packages smaller. Okay, so instead of getting 18 ounces for $1, you're getting 13 ounces for $1. So it seems like you're paying the same price, but of course you're getting less. Okay, the fourth quarter GDP is going to be much worse than originally priced in. And since we really don't create anything anymore, and our GDP is more on exporting our grains and things, that's going to show even a bigger problem. Okay, and you look at the money supply. Okay, the M2, which is the money being controlled, is at the lowest level since the Depression of 1929. And again, I am not predicting recession. You know that we're long the market right now. Okay, I'm just telling you that you can continue to ignore the things that are simply in front of your face and continue to go along and hide in the sand as typically we do. But the warning signs are mounting. The warning signs are getting well out of control as we continue to lose employment, lose control, give our power to our enemies. And don't be surprised, although oil has held steady at around the $80 a barrel level, don't be surprised that when we get into the driving season, that suddenly Saudi Arabia comes up with a shortage, okay, and suddenly oil is back, gasoline at the pump is back to $5-6 a gallon. You don't think that that's part of the overall plan? And of course, you have countries that are now going to refuse to export food because they don't have enough of it, okay? Thai rice has now jumped as the global food crisis reignites. It has never left. This is one of the things that we continue to talk about, which makes no sense to why grain prices remain low, although food prices remain very high. Okay, I think that you've seen this administration with stealing our money under the phony guise of climate change. And again, I am not a believer. I will make that clear. However, if you are, that is fine. And I have no problem if we want to get to a better source of energy. But I'm tired of paying for something that they are not delivering. Okay, I am tired of paying something so that I can fund garbage and other programs other than what the reasoning was for. We already know that there is a record amount of coal being burnt in this country, okay, and globally. What is that doing for the carbon footprint? And speaking of the carbon footprint, why did they go to Davos? Why couldn't they do Davos via Zoom? And how about all the private jets that are out running around taking these executives and people around the globe, okay, with what does that do for the carbon footprint? Again, there's too many stories here, okay, not to mention that we will be back into probably the rolling blackouts in this country, okay, not to mention that John Kerry, Obama, Biden, okay, have no solar panels on their mansions. Okay, so what is that telling you? What is that telling us, okay, about the bullshit of the climate change agreement? Okay, you can buy an electric car, but you don't have enough power to charge it. Okay, and again, I'm not against technology and moving forward, but you have to fix the problems that make those things run, which we're nowhere near. We have not even a plan yet to do that. This goes back as long as I can remember of the promises of every presidential candidate in the last 50 years, promising to fix the infrastructure, which none have done. Okay, food stamps, record costs to American taxpayers now. Okay, which means more people are collecting benefits, which means that we get the benefit of, if you're working, of paying more of your working dollars, more of your hard work, blood, sweat, and tears to someone who's not working. Okay, and why are people not working? There is a gazillion jobs available, and wouldn't you think that people would go to work just to get back in the workforce? But of course, when you make it easy for them to sit home on their fat ass on the couch, smoking crack, drinking beer, eating bonbons or whatever the hell they're doing, okay, that they won't go to work. Now, I don't know. I go to work every day, and I'm sick and tired of paying people that are capable of working that don't want to go to work. And of course, our neighbors to the north have just passed another bill in Canada, C-26, that is now taking away even more freedom from what is a socialist, near communistic regime, okay, in Canada. Now, you don't think that's not coming here. That is exactly the plan of the imbeciles that are running this country today. Okay? You don't think that AOC and all the rest of the squad and President Biden and the rest of them are not trying to turn us into a socialist nation? Okay? Socialist nations benefit no one but the very wealthy. Okay? You can take the rest of that and shove it up your ass. Okay? There is no benefit to socialism. And any country that has tried it, the government and the leaders end up stealing all the money and leaving the poor to fend for themselves. You just witnessed it in Venezuela, which actually had the money and the financing and the natural resources of oil to actually live a good life under socialism. But of course, it never works that way because it's like any other scheme, like a Ponzi scheme. Eventually, only a few end up with all of the dollars. Okay, and this is by far just the beginning of the problems. Not to mention that car loans are at the highest number of collapse. Okay, that we've seen in history. Okay, you can't make your car payment. How many do you think can't make their house payment or rent payment as well? When is that going to go away? And of course, the answer is not going away. This is what is the grand design to get us into a socialistic, take away capitalism, take away the freedom of Americans. And if you're happy with giving up your freedom, get the hell out. We want to be the greatest country in the world by a long shot. We should be self-sufficient. There should not be a war going on in Russia right now. But of course, when you have weak leadership, or leadership that's willing to fuel the war, why not? And of course, we know that the very wealthy always clean up during wartime. So you can take all this crap, okay, and wrap it in a ball and keep hiding your head in the sand, or you can wake up and decide that we need to do something about what's happening in our country. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. Todd Bubba Horowitz. We're going to stop out here for a break, and we'll be back with our market report right after the break. Well, kids, what's up? Anyways, what we got going on here is, of course, we have a couple of sponsors that always take care of the show. And there are my brokers. And again, I have many brokers, but I do have preferences. And of course, my futures and commodities broker choice is Capital Trading Group. And of course, their information is growing on the side. They are by far the best in the industry for customer service, for taking care of it. And they're the only ones I can trust with our letter of direction trading and some other partnership products we do. And of course, for equities and options, there's nothing like trade your brokerage, $10 a month. Okay. They can automate your trading through us at no charge on our equity portfolios or through a licensing fee from us. They're always going to be $10 a month. I only save $100,000 a year by using trade your brokerage, okay, on commission. So why wouldn't you try them out? And again, their information is also on this side. And of course, our high school program, which this will be the last year based on what I can watch right now because I can't get the teachers to teach it. Because again, we've got tenure, we got unions, we got bullshit. Okay. But in the meantime, let's get back to Bubba's Bottom Line and of course our market report. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, January the 29th. And of course, markets continue to go higher. It is beyond logic, but markets don't trade off of logic. They trade off of money. They trade off of order flow. Okay. And if you think you're smarter than the market, you're not. And you will go broke. Okay. The trend is up. We are along. We are along across the board. All four major indices. They've all been flying along. Now, certainly, I can make a case that we may be at some resistance right now and maybe a pullback is warranted. But a pullback does not necessarily mean a trend change. And until the trend changes, we'll continue to be along as much as I personally cannot believe that we can continue to go higher. But again, there is personal opinion and there's fact. And the fact is that the market's never wrong. And if you fight the market, you lose. Okay. So in the meantime, all four major indices were long and they're going higher. Okay. The dollar, which we no longer trade, we would be short. Okay. And it was down for the week. The euro currency, which we are long, okay, we still trade, is higher and it was up for the week. Now, again, I'm not a big believer, and it's hard to believe that I think that it's going to 88 cents, but yet I'm still long euro currencies, but I am at the moment. Okay. Bitcoin is broken above that 23,000 level. We're still long, and I think it's got a lot more room to go. I think that that's what you're watching in playoff and in action. The bonds and notes were kind of flat to established, and of course, we are still long bonds and notes. We do have a Fed meeting this week, which could have a dramatic effect on them. I do see that. I cannot believe. I'd love to be short these things. I know that interest rates are going higher. The obvious thing is with my son, who's an advisor, I have invested some money on 3-month CDs at 4.5%. Okay, and think about that for a minute. If the 10 years at 3.5, and I can get 4.5 on 3-month money. Okay, first of all, it tells you about the inversion in the yield curve, number one, but number two, it tells you that the big guys believe that interest rates are going much higher. Okay, and the metals, gold, silver, and platinum look phenomenal. Now, we don't trade platinum anymore, but certainly would be long it. Gold had a nice week again and continues its winning ways. As it pushes up to 1930, as I said last week, 1940 would be probably some resistance, which it was. But we are certainly on our way to new all-time highs. Silver, there's a long way from all-time highs, but I think we're on our way to the high 20s, and then we'll see what goes on from there. And platinum, I think, is on its way, 1,200, 1,300, and we'll see what happens from there. Okay. In the crude market, crude continues to be in gyration. Okay, but it's trying to push higher. We are still long at the moment as it tries to push itself. But I don't see a lot going on there. I do see, as I said earlier, that I would not be at all surprised if there was a squeeze when we head into the driving season. And natural gas continues to get pounded, okay, and is now below $3, and it's probably on its way to $2. Okay, again, this time of year, natural gas is not as high a demand as well. So we continue to watch that. And as we look at the copper markets, copper is, back well over $4. And of course, we're still long. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me either, because again, building and housing is breaking down, but maybe there's something else that I don't know. So we'll go with the trend. And the grain markets, we are now long corn and beans and still short wheat. And at the end of the day, I think we'll be long them all. I still say there will be big moves there to the upside. The logic of where we are price-wise right now makes zero sense as well. So, but we'll see where we go from there. And in the meats, which we no longer trade, are called the protein complex. Cattle still looks pretty good. Hogs still look pretty bad. Okay. Now, hogs certainly would be worth, if you like to gamble a little bit, take a shot, probably worth a buy. We would be short them at the moment, okay? And in the softs, we're long cocoa, we're long, we're short cotton, we're short sugar, we're long OJ and coffee. We were short. We'll be reversing tomorrow, okay, on Monday, okay? Or if you get up in the middle of the night, you can do it when they start trading. But overall, the picture right now is strange. Logically, things don't make any sense, but we don't worry about logic. We worry about the tape and the price action. And with more earnings coming this week, with the Fed on Wednesday and jobs on Friday, we'll see. We'll see where we are next week when we get back together. But in the meantime, you know our positions, you know where we stand, and you know what my personal opinion is, and I still say that there will be a very big haircut at some point, but it doesn't have to be tomorrow. This is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Todd Bubba Horowitz. We'll step out for a break and be back with our final commentary and, of course, our football picks. Got to have those. We're on fire and fuego. Well, kids, again, I'm not going to go through the whole spiel, but remember our sponsors. They're on the sides. Trade Your Brokerage, the best in the business. Capital Trading Group, the best in the business. And I've got many. I can give you, I have accounts many places. I can give you with great confidence that for what we do, these are the two best. Just remember that equity brokers are to trade equities and options, and futures brokers are to trade futures. And the mix is never very good. Okay. And of course, our high school program, don't forget about that. Okay. If you want to help us out, we're trying one last push to help educate Americans. Unfortunately, this administration doesn't want our kids to be educated. This is Bubba's Bottom Line, Top Bubba Horowitz. Let's get back to the show and my commentary and our football picks. Welcome back. It is Bubba's Bottom Line. It is Sunday, the 29th of January. And of course, every week I have a little commentary for you. And, it is a tragedy, the destruction of our educational system. I cannot tell you, I've worked very hard. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars of my own money trying to educate our high school students, not on politics, not on whether they should be liberal or conservative. I really don't care, but on how to take care of their money. And you know what's amazing? I can't get the teachers to teach it. They want to teach politics. They want to teach communism and Marxism and liberal things and things that are not beneficial nor conducive to improving our youth and improving the country so that the next group does not continue to get us into deeper and deeper debt. And maybe at some point somebody will become fiscally responsible, because you and I both know that if we spent like the government, we would be either in bankruptcy court or in jail, okay? Because we do not have the ability to create new money out of shit and make it go forward. And this is another step towards destroying capitalism. And that is what this administration has in their heart: destroy capitalism. And God forbid if we let it happen. In the meantime, it is Championship Football Sunday. The season is almost over. 2 weeks left. Not 2 weeks, but 2 games today and 1 game in 2 weeks. My God. But today, we do like the 2 underdogs. I would like you to get San Francisco +3 if you can, but I'm taking San Francisco either way. I do have a futures ticket on them as well to win it all. And I do like Cincinnati. I like Joe Burrow to beat Patrick Mahomes for the 4th time in a row. In the meantime, have a great week, everybody. Remember, big week for news and data. Still a lack of volume. We'll see you back here tomorrow with Bubba's Daily Update, and of course next Sunday with Bubba's Bottom Line. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you later.